Так, Daniel, start. Стартуем.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me. I am honored to speak to you. My name is Daniel Krause. I work with international applicants to HFU Hochschule Furtwangen University, and I would love to give you a short introduction to our university today. Hopefully, you do see my slides, and hopefully those slides are moving now. Hochschule Furtwangen University is located in the extreme southwest of Germany, close to Switzerland and France. We are 2 hours from Zurich and 3 hours by train from Paris. Hochschule Furtwangen, HFU, is a university of applied sciences. That is to say, our focus is on employability, on practical-oriented teaching. Our job is preparing students for industry, for the job market. And this is what students appreciate most in our programs. Employability, readiness for the job market is achieved primarily through internships. Every student at every University of Applied Sciences, there are 200 of them in Germany, completes at least one internship semester. And quite often it is through the internship semesters that our students secure their future jobs. HFU students typically prefer to intern with companies in the region. In the federal state of Baden-Württemberg or Switzerland, for example, with car makers like Porsche or Mercedes, with software makers like SAP, or with those large pharmaceutical corporations in Switzerland, like Roche and Novartis. Our degree programs, there are roughly 50 degree programs at HFU, are mostly in business-related subjects and technology, engineering-related subjects, as is typical for universities of applied sciences. And I would now like to focus on 2 English-taught bachelor's programs. English-taught means 100% English, so you do not need any German to enter these programs in business management and engineering. There is something special about these programs, and this affects admission. As you may know, high school graduates from Ukraine can't directly enter German universities, degree programs at German universities, because Ukrainian high school diplomas are not recognized to be equivalent to German ones. So Ukrainians would have to first study at least 1 year at a university in Ukraine or complete 1 year of Studienkolleg. Studienkolleg is German for prep year, foundational year, in order to become eligible to study a bachelor's degree. Only after 1 year of Studienkolleg, Ukrainian high school grads can be admitted to bachelor's programs. And this is different with HFU. We are aware that these very strict admission requirements do not make too much sense because many high school graduates from Ukraine are well qualified to directly enter a bachelor's program. In many cases, there is no need for Studienkolleg. And we give you an opportunity to demonstrate that you do not need it. So we replace Studienkolleg by aptitude tests. We substitute 3 hours of testing for 1 year of Studienkolleg. Testing means the SAT, the testers, the ITB. All these tests are basically about mathematical skills and logical reasoning. So if you submit your high school diploma from Ukraine with 11 years of schooling, plus your SAT or ITB certificate with a minimum score, for example, of 1,150 points in the SAT, plus proof of English language proficiency, you will be directly admitted either to international engineering or international business management. And this smart admission pathway or fast track to studies is quite unique, at least in southern Germany. Maybe you already hold the SAT, the entrance exam of American universities, widespread all over the world. If you don't, I would recommend taking the ITB tests, the ITB Technology for International Engineering, or the ITB Business Plus for our business management program, because the ITB tests can be taken from home. You do not need to attend a test center, as with TestUs or the SAT. It's done through online proctoring from your living room, the only technical requirement being a stable internet connection. To wrap up, just a few words on practical student life in Schwenningen. The largest single issue, the biggest single issue for students, German or international students, is housing. Because housing is unaffordable in large cities in Germany. Now, Villingen-Schwenningen is not a large city, it's a town of 90,000 inhabitants, so housing is quite inexpensive. Even if you do not secure a spot in a public dorm, it won't be too difficult to find a private room, which is affordable. The housing market in Villingen-Schwenningen is quite relaxed as compared to cities like Munich or Berlin. The total cost of living is something like 900 or 1,000 euros, as is typical of small cities in Germany. Regarding funding, I would like to point out that scholarships do exist, but they are virtually unattainable. It's quite hard to successfully apply for a scholarship. So, in all probability, it will be easiest to apply for BAföG. BAföG is financial aid by the German government for German students, and for some years now, it's available for Ukrainian students too. BAföG amounts to 900 or maybe 1,000 euros, depending on several factors. So neither housing nor funding should be too significant an issue for you when you decide to study in Germany or in Villingen and Schwenningen, respectively. If you choose to study with us at Hochschule Furtwangen University, I recommend, or if you consider studying with us, I recommend having a look at our website. There is a dedicated page. There are dedicated pages for any individual study program. There you will also find the contact details of the responsible persons. They will be happy to tell you about the details. Alternatively, you are welcome to reach out to me directly. I will get you in touch with the relevant people. And if you choose to study international business management or international engineering, those special English taught programs with simplified admission for Ukrainian high school graduates, then I will be happy to guide you through the process, because it's my responsibility to work with applicants to these two programs. So do not hesitate to reach out. We will be happy to have you with us. If there are any questions right now, please write them on the chat. I will try to respond immediately. Thank you very much for your attention. Actually, I'm facing some technical issues because I can't see those questions. They should appear on the chat, but I can't see them.
Daniel, a question,
Now I see some.
chat question.
Victor, what are the requirements? Just a
И publish. О, все,
no,
супер, good.
sorry.
Секунду. Диана, ты поднимала в чате руку. Ты хотела пообщаться напрямую? Да, все. Даниэль, go.
Well, Abitur is fine, of course. Any German high school diploma holder can be admitted, will be admitted to our bachelor's degrees. Applications are accepted from March. for the winter term. The winter term starts in October. Applications can be submitted from March. Admission letters will be issued from April. Again, I can't see them. There seems to be some issue with my screen.
Даниэль.
Yeah.
Просто press button next questions. Next
I don't see that button.
Chat questions. Наводить стрелкой на вопрос, display. Oh, good.
Well, I'm very sorry for the inconvenience. I was born in the 1970s, so I'm not quite familiar with modern technologies. What campuses does HFU have? Basically, there are 3 campuses. The Furtwangen campus is amidst the Black Forest, on 900 meters above sea level. There are several technical subjects, technical programs, computer science. Furtwangen is a very small town, 10,000 inhabitants, a village almost. So if you like this kind of environment, Furtwangen might be an option to consider. Engineering programs and business programs are mainly in Schwenningen. Schwenningen is a medium-sized town, 90,000 people. Personally, I would prefer living there. But of course, it depends on what subjects you would like to study. So these are the 2 main campuses, Furtwangen in the Black Forest, Schwenningen, close to the Black Forest, and Tuttlingen. Tuttlingen is a city of 30,000 people, and this is where medical technology is headquartered, because Tuttlingen is a large cluster of medical technology companies. Actually, the largest such cluster in all of Europe, with some 200 to 300 companies in the field of medical engineering. And of course, we closely collaborate with industry.
Даниэль, вы видите вопрос? Questions view? No?
Just a minute. Well, the application portal remains open until the 15th of July. In many cases, with many programs, even until August. So there is no hurry regarding application. You can apply from March to July at least. Your Abitur grades will be required for admission, so it will be better to wait until they are available. Sorry. It seems to be an issue on my side. Well, which specific programming languages are prioritized in the curriculum? Actually, I do not know because I am not responsible for computer science programs. You could either have a look at the website, at the computer science pages, and there you will find these details. You could also write me an email. I will then connect you with those people who can competently respond. Thank you for your query. Does business school assist with networking? Yes, we do. The best way, if you're searching for an internship, is word of mouth, because several generations of HFU Business School students have worked, let's say, with Bosch or with Roche, and of course, they have quite a good reputation with these employers. So your fellow students will tell you where to apply. And actually, I'm not aware that any of our students faced serious problems with internships. So I wouldn't worry too much about this. Yes, the International Business Management program includes a mandatory semester abroad. You could attend our partner universities, let's say in China, in Latin America, in California, in France. But there is a possibility for international students to stay at HFU or another German university rather than going abroad. So it is up to you whether you would like to go abroad or stay in Germany at HFU. You are invited to spend your semester abroad at HFU. This is a prerogative of international students. German students would indeed be obliged to go abroad. By the way, many Ukrainian students at HFU would choose to go to Austria. because we have 2 or 3 partner universities in Vienna, for example. Two years in the industry, but there are no specific demands regarding the companies you were working with. I must add that the MBA program, contrary to the master program in international management, charges tuition, something like 4,000 euros. If you would like to avoid paying tuition, you should rather choose the international management program. International management at HFU Business School does not require any work experience. Instead, it requires a bachelor's degree in a business-related subject. For admission, you don't need to have your certificate verified. After that, it has to be verified by any German authority, but not yet. It is sufficient to submit digital copies of your certificates regarding admission. English would be fine, and German would be accepted as well. Yes, this applies to the international engineering program. This is part of the curriculum. Teaching at universities of applied sciences tends to be project-oriented. So students do create their own products and prototypes. Robotics does play a significant role in our engineering programs. From the second year of studies, you choose to either specialize in mechanical engineering or in medical engineering. As of today, medical engineering is taught in German. This may change in the near future, but as of today, it's German taught. Mechanical engineering is 100% English. The first year of studies is mathematics, basics of engineering. After that, you specialize either in mechanical engineering or medical engineering. Yes, we do. And this is because all of our professors have been working in those companies. For example, the dean of HFU Business School has been head of global recruitment at SAP. So they are personally connected to industry. And this is why we often welcome guests from those companies. Actually, this is the main difference between teachers at universities of applied sciences and teachers at, let's say, research universities. Those at research universities have spent their whole career in academia, at universities. Professors at universities of applied sciences, at HFU, for example, have several years of work experience in companies. Actually, I do not know. I would recommend reaching out to the coordinators, the Dean of Studies of this program. You could also reach out to me, and then I will get you in touch with the relevant persons. All these 50 programs, 50 plus programs at HFU have their very own regulations. So I can't oversee all those details involved, unfortunately. Yes, we have our own labs, of course, and we closely collaborate with hospitals in the Freiburg and Villingen-Schwenningen area. You do have access to clinical practice. This is essential for your education, of course. Yes, there are hundreds of HFU students who have done their internships with Porsche or Bosch. Actually, Porsche is the most popular destination for HFU interns. The B2 level in German is confirmed through test stuff, level 3 or Goethe certificate B2, or the österreichisches Sprachdiplom, or the DSD or the DSH. There are several accepted certificates. For example, the Internationale Betriebswirtschaft program, which is something like international business management, taught in German, accepts the B2 level. There is a list of bachelor's programs accepting B2 on our website. Yes, we have something like 30 master's degrees. 10 of those degrees are taught in English. There are degrees with a focus on artificial intelligence, on business consulting, on biomedical engineering. When you have a look at our website, you can select which programs you're interested in. It will show you, let's say, all master programs taught in English. As soon as you have received your admission letter, you can apply for a placement in our dorms. Of course, there is high demand, and demand exceeds the number of places available. So many students have to rely on the private market, on private rooms. To some degree, we do assist when you search for accommodation. And as I indicated, as compared with cities like Frankfurt, Munich, or Stuttgart, it shouldn't be too difficult to secure housing independently. Typically, there is no NC for our bachelor's programs. No worries in this regard. Yes, there are many such projects. All those 200 medical, engineering, and pharmaceutical companies in the Schwenningen, Tuttlingen, Furtwangen region closely collaborate with HFU because their future employees are educated with us. Yes, recently we have established an academic writing center and a career center specifically for international students. So we do assist with writing resumes in German or English, as you like it. No, except for the aptitude test, the SAT, the ITB, there are no entrance exams. And if you do hold a university entrance qualification for Germany, so if you do not need to take the smart pathway through aptitude tests, if you hold the Abitur, the German high school diploma, for example, or if you hold the Ukrainian high school diploma plus 1 year of studies at a university in Ukraine. So if you can directly enter bachelor's programs at German universities, you do not need any entrance exams, you do not need any interview. If you hold a Ukrainian high school diploma, you can't study at a university in Germany. Except you have already studied at least 1 year at a university in Ukraine. With us, you can be directly admitted to those English-taught bachelor's programs in engineering and business management. This is what we call the HFU Fast Track, direct access to bachelor's programs without 1 year of university studies in Ukraine, without Studienkolleg. In order to make sure you are ready for bachelor studies, you are well qualified, you will be successful, you have to take the aptitude test. It depends completely on you whether you choose the SAT or the ACT or the ITB test. You just have to reach the minimum score. You submit your high school diploma, you submit the, let's say, SAT certificate and proof of English language proficiency, then you will be admitted to our bachelor's programs. We just skipped Studienkolleg. If you have any questions concerning the fast track, just write me an email because this is what I am responsible for. I will be happy to guide you through the process. I have never participated in graduation project defense. It won't be a public event, but there will be professors and maybe fellow students attending your project defense. Actually, it shouldn't be too challenging. I will be happy to get you in touch with the relevant professors. In dorms, a single room might cost something like 400 euros. A room in shared housing should be at 350 euros, 350 to 400 euros per month. So by German standards, it's cheap. In large cities like Munich, you would have to pay roughly the double amount. We do not work with UniAssist. You just upload your documents to our HFU admission portal. In case you would like to apply for the international business management or international engineering programs, I recommend getting in touch with me beforehand so I can guide you through the process. Basically, it's quite simple. No UniAssist involved. Yes. Now, how should I do it? It is Daniel.Krause at hs-furtwangen.de. You can just enter HFU plus Daniel Krause into Google. Then you will be directed to my page on the HFU website. Daniel Krause, HFU. Actually, students from non-EU countries pay 1,500 euros per semester at universities in Baden-Württemberg, you're quite right. But Ukrainians do not. So you just have to pay an administrative fee, just like German students. The administrative fee is 170 euros per semester, 30 euros per month. HFU is strongest in medical engineering and biology, pharmacy, precision medicine diagnostics. Because, as I indicated, we work with the largest cluster of medical engineering companies in Europe. This is, one might say, our unique selling point, our standalone feature, medical technology, and I dare say the business programs are quite strong too. Because Baden-Württemberg is the economically strongest federal state in Germany, next to Bavaria. Your credits from the private university will be evaluated by the Dean of Studies, by a professor, on an individual basis. Probably most of those credits will be recognized, so you can transfer to the second year. Just write me a mail, I will get you in touch with a relevant teacher. Entry to an engineering program might be possible too, but probably it would be difficult to enter directly into the second year of studies in engineering with your educational background in business. Please enter admission database DAAD. DAAD, Deutscher Akademischer Austauschdienst. Into Google. Then you will be directed to the DAAD website, and they will provide all the information required. If you hold HZB, you can study any bachelor's program in Germany, basically. If you don't hold HZB, if you don't hold the direct university entrance qualification for German universities, maybe you could utilize our fast track, because through the fast track you can gain access to our bachelor's programs even if you do not hold the HZB. With us, the HZB can be replaced by aptitude tests like the SAT. If you apply to the International Business Management or International Engineering program, you do not need to attend Studienkolleg. You can be admitted based on your high school diploma from Ukraine, plus the aptitude test, the online aptitude test, ATB, for example, ITB. If you would like to apply to different bachelor's programs at HFU or at any other university in Germany, you would probably have to attend Studienkolleg. The closest Studienkolleg to HFU is in Konstanz. Studienkolleg Konstanz. Generally, a high school diploma from America is not sufficient for direct access to bachelor's programs in Germany. So you could rely on the fast track. Rather than attending Studienkolleg, you could directly access those two bachelor's programs at HFU through the SAT, the ACT, the ITB. So with us, your high school diploma would be sufficient, but in general, it is not sufficient for university entry in Germany. There is a dedicated page on this program at the HFU website. Just enter HFU International Engineering to Google. There you will find all the details. As I indicated, the first year of studies is about the basics of engineering, and from the second year of studies you will specialize either in mechanical engineering or medical engineering. And like all bachelor's programs, the International Engineering program includes an internship semester. For example, with one of those mechanical or medical engineering companies in the region. With most bachelor's courses, it's 6 points in the IELTS, and 72 points in TOEFL. With the master degrees, it's different, something like 90 points in TOEFL, 7 points in IELTS. Actually, you do not need Studienplatzbörse. I recommend reaching out directly to a university, to the contacts mentioned on the website. I am very confident there will be free places in your preferred program, because the number of German students, not just at HFU, but in general, has been declining for years now. So there is plenty of space at German universities. And as I indicated, there is no NC, no entry restriction in our bachelor's programs. So I'm very optimistic your application will be successful. Just write us a mail and we will take care of it. Generally 1,500 euros tuition plus 170 euros semester fees for non-EU students, but Ukrainian students are exempt from tuition, so you do not pay those 1,500 euros. You are just required to pay those 170 euros per semester. So you are in a better position than non-EU students from other countries than Ukraine. You are treated like German students, in other words. Yes, any holder of a residence permit under Section 24 is exempt from tuition, irrespective of the federal land you are living in. As I indicated, I'm not exactly a digital native, so I do not know much about computer science, and I guess your question refers to programming. So I would recommend reaching out to the relevant persons mentioned in the study programs pages on our website. They will be much more competent than me to answer your questions. Well, Rottweil focuses on engineering and business, but these are only master's programs. It's a rather small campus. Freiburg is mainly for health subjects and physiotherapy. So the vast majority of programs is headquartered in Furtwangen or Schwenningen. Which is a good thing, by the way, because Freiburg is expensive. Typically, you will achieve 30 credits per semester, and this adds up to something like 210 credits after 7 semesters. Our bachelor's programs comprise 7 semesters of study, master's programs comprise 30 credits. Credits stands for ECTS, European Credit Transfer System, and of course, all those credits are recognized in any EU country. Because maybe you will choose to continue your studies in a different country after, let's say, completing your bachelor's degree at HFU. For admission, you do not need any verification. For enrollment, you do. Enrollment occurs after admission. We do need the certificate in English or German.
Так. Ну, мабуть, на всі запитання вже відповіли. Зараз почекаємо трохи, якщо не буде більш запитань, будемо вже зачиняти. Так, у кого ще є питання, пишіть, будь ласка, в чат. Все. Daniel, thank you. No questions?
Thank you. I'm sorry for the technical troubles. If there are any questions, any queries left, I will be happy to answer to your emails. HFU Daniel Krause in Google.
Email, chat, please. Написать.
It just doesn't work with me.
Public chat.
No.
Так, є. HTML. Так, зараз Даніель нам напише свій e-mail в чаті. Мабуть. І буду завершити. Так, за півгодини буде слідуюча презентація. Приєднуйтесь. Даніель.
I just can't fix it. There is a problem with
Yeah,
my
no
laptop.
problem. So, thank you.
Google will help us.
Так,
Thank you very
Bye.
much and looking forward to your mails.
Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.